This is my presentation for the movie Good Will Hunting. The movie follows Will Hunting, an orphan genius who has recently got in trouble with the law, and in order to escape jail time, collabs with a professor at MIT to start working on mathematical problems with him. Part of their deal is for Will Hunting to also see therapists. Throughout the movie, at the beginning of the movie, Will goes through about 3 different therapists, all of which decide to quit after one session. Finally, Will Hunting meets with Sean Maguire, who, through patience and endurance, ends up connecting with Will and works with him on his struggles with PTSD and trust with relationships regarding other people. With the help of Sean, Will learns the importance of being able to let people in and not always have your guard up. Will struggled with abuse from his foster parents, and because of that, he is very guarded and very reluctant to let people get to know the real him. But as the movie goes on, and with the help of Sean and his friends, he learns that in order to progress in life and to not stay comfortable, you have to take risks and you have to allow others in. For my clinical impression of the main character, Will Hunting, my first step would be diagnosis, and that would be with post-traumatic stress disorder, due to the physical abuse that he received from his foster father when he was growing up. Because of this PTSD, Will chooses to live in comfort instead of pushing himself to the limits and finding out all that life has to offer for him. A lot of his problems include anger, not trusting other people, and pushing people away when he thinks they might be getting too close. He's dealt with this since he was a child, and even though it has been such a long time he suffered with it, it's not too severe to the point that he can't function. His strengths include his intelligence and the fact that his friend group is extremely loyal to him and is even willing to tell him the truth even if it means that they will no longer be around him all the time. Some of his stressors include not trusting people, which gets in the way of him forming long-lasting new relationships, and his inability to trust new people. Again, overall, his functioning is still normal. He is able to still operate in the world normally without the PTSD kicking in at all times, but it does impact his ability to live life to the fullest. If I were to take on the role of Will's therapist, there are 2 main challenges that I might see coming my way. The first being surviving Will's tests, and the second would be earning his trust. Every single therapist that Will saw at the beginning of the movie, he would test them to see if they have the ability to stay even when things get tough, which was a representation of his biggest fear, that if someone got to know the real him, they would leave him abandoned. So, by surviving Will's initial tests of ridicule and second guessing my judgment, that would show that I'm in here for the long haul and want to build a working relationship with him on how to improve himself. Second, again, like I said, would be earning Will's trust. Because of such high walls that he has due to his PTSD from childhood trauma, earning his trust would be a lot of work, but it would be the first step that needs to be taken in order to build a better life for Will. The skills needed to be Will's therapist would be patience and thick skin. The therapeutic model would be CBT, as it would help with reconstructing any past or negative thought behaviors he has towards building relationships with new people. The goals for Will would be learning to reduce his need for control and employment. Reducing that desire for control is important for Will because he uses it in order to dictate how close people are in his life. He needs to understand that he can't control how people are going to act, and by relinquishing that control, it releases him from the fears that other people will leave him, which ends up debilitating his ability to form new relationships. Employment, on the other hand, would be another goal for Will, because it would allow him to actually put his intelligence to good use and try new things in life, which he is not doing currently. The interventions that I would use for Will would be trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy and then prolonged exposure to get him used to the building new relationships and trusting people. Thank you. The end.